this business can make $30,000 a month. I wouldn't have to wash windows anymore. I'd have money, whatever. That happened literally, like I remember that when we put the website online, we made $1,000 in a day. And I couldn't believe it because times 1,000 times 30, you got 30 grand. And all of a sudden, this business started to grow from this need. I didn't imagine how many people wanted screen printing stuff. And that's when we really started to develop a team. And our first team member was Sean. He was hired, I think, in July of 2004. He's our marketing manager right now and director at our company. But we started just developing this website and learning how to do and play the online game. By the end of 2004, we were up to 4 team members. We were actually started this in my bedroom, and then another guy who works at our company now, his name is Jeff, we actually rented his house, rented his pole barn. We would build these presses. Got a guy named Eric. He actually made better wood presses than I did, so I let him build the presses, then we just sold them. Sean and I sold them online, then we'd pack them out together and ship them out. So by the end of 2004, our first official year of business, we hit about $200,000 in revenue. And that's when really things started to take off, because we figured out, going to some internet marketing and learning how to market online, learning how to know how to purchase and basically buy customers online, how much your customer is worth to you and how much profit that will give you, figured out, hey, we can actually grow really fast if we just went out and spent some money. Because we figured out we spend $1 to get a customer that spends $4. So we're 4 times in our money, and we just went out and found out as many different ways to buy customers through, actually back then in 2005, it was Yahoo, now basically Google search, but paid advertising. Back then, there were so many different ways, there still is, to go acquire online purchase, basically online views to your website. And that took us from basically a couple $100,000 in sales in 2004. By the end of 2005, we were at just under $4 million in sales. By the end of 2006, we were at $8 million in sales. So that was like boom, 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 and it was crazy. We had we went from 3 guys to 20 guys to 30 guys. We started buying different companies. We expanded into Arkansas, bought a facility over there. We were really developing a very, very cool team. And we were focused on growth. Let's go out and get as many customers to our website as possible. We used to joke around the office like, okay, well, because when you're growing like that, you're able to fund a lot of growth naturally. You don't have to worry about money because it just automatically, all our transactions were done credit card online, and we had net terms, so we were just able to go out and do things. It was very cool because money wasn't an object. It was like, all right, well, if it's costs more than $10,000, then we need to talk about it, but if it's under 10 grand, just go do it. If it's gonna grow our business, so we got into manufacturing, we got into all sorts of cool stuff, and it really helped us grow. But as 2007, 2008 started to happen, we figured out you need more than just growth to sustain in business, Figured out that it's a lot easier to keep a customer than to go buy a new customer.
Some of the challenges that investors face as they look at opportunities really revolve around quality deal flow and being able to ferret out the opportunities that really merit their time to consider, and then ultimately the companies that they could potentially invest in that could be successful and produce a good return on investment. Once they find a good opportunity, they have limited capacity to do due diligence. You hear investors talk about, well, I'm just going to take a look at things that are within my domain, within my area of expertise. Well, it's hard to find a lot of companies in your area of expertise that you can really evaluate sometimes, and oftentimes you have a difficult time having the breadth to be able to really look at it, even if you do have expertise in the market of the company you're looking at. And then it comes down to negotiating leverage. So you can either write one really big check, but then you've got all your eggs in one basket, and sometimes that's a good plan, particularly when you're investing in your own company or your company's people that you really trust. But it's difficult to negotiate price when it comes to having a portfolio of investments if you're just acting individually. And then after you invest in companies, it becomes even more challenging to support them. As soon as you write that check, then you turn around, you're on the other side of the table, you're an advocate for the company, and you're trying to help that investment be successful. And so how do you do that as an individual as well? And so unfortunately the result is most angels lose money. So what does Keiretsu mean? It's a grouping, it's about partnership, it's about our companies working together, it's about our members working together, and it's about building trust. And as we trust each other and we work together in a way that produces very high quality investment opportunities. We often ask, how does Keiretsu Forum find its deal flow? where does your deal flow come from? It really comes from within the membership, and who the members are is the most important thing. And so our members have been successful in growing their businesses, have been able to exit. They've been able to do that multiple times over and over again in a whole variety of different industries. And so it's that connection across all those areas of expertise that really helps us to be able to grow and support each other in our angel investing.
I want to share with you the pattern of stuff that I think people like Ryan have demonstrated when they start companies. So I've been researching expert entrepreneurs with my co-authors for almost 15 years now. What's interesting about entrepreneurship is you have these three problems. You don't actually know what you want. Most economic models always assume that you have a very clear idea of what you want. That's not really true. You kind of know you'd like to eat dinner. You kind of know you'd like to make money, but that's about the clarity that you have at the start when you're doing entrepreneurship. The next thing is, it's just unpredictable in the future. Even if you think you know what you want now, you kind of also know you don't really know where things are going, and that's going to change probably as often as you can possibly imagine. And the last one is, people don't do what you want them to do. So you invent a project that of course people should buy, and you explain to them in very clear terms why they should buy it, and you know your math is correct. And it is, and yet they still don't buy it. They just don't do what you tell them to do. That includes your employers, your suppliers, your customers. Nobody does what you want. And so you have to find ways to overcome these three problems and actually grow a business. So I'm going to teach you a little bit, this is a little bit of professor stuff, okay? Effectuation is a really interesting, different way to make decisions. What we normally learn is how to make decisions in a causal or a predictive way. You set a goal. You determine what resources you need to hit that goal, and then you go about figuring out which ones you already have, which ones you need, and can you get them at a price you can afford? Great. If you can, go. Right? And the question is always, what should I do to get to that goal? Well, entrepreneurs totally invert that process. They ask a very simple question, which is, here's the stuff that I have. What can I do with that? And so they don't shop around for resources, they shop around for goals, right? They assume the means they have, and they look around for goals that they go, I could do that. And so it might be, I'm standing in my kitchen, I've got some plywood in the garage, I could do that, right? There's not really a lot of time spent on whether you should do that. The time is spent on that you can do that. And so what you spend your time working out is the innovative side of what else could I do with the stuff I already have, instead of trying to spend your time, how can I get people to give me money and resources so that I can achieve the goal that I had imagined I wanted to do in the first place?